It is all about morning basket planning today. In this 3-part video, I am going to walk you through how to make a morning basket plan. I'm going to show you the resources that we're using in our morning basket this year. And finally, I'm going to give you a little tour of my morning time binder. Hi everyone, I'm Pam Barnhill and I help moms bring truth, goodness, and beauty to their homeschool day with morning baskets or morning time. And if you are here, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button or the little bell so that you can receive notification every time we have a new video go live. Okay, for the morning time planning, I'm going to be using one of the planning forms from my website. So these are our morning time planning forms that we have. And I want to keep morning time really simple this year. I have a student going into high school. I want it to be short, something we can do fairly quickly. And so we are going to do a morning time loop schedule. So I'm going to be using this form right here, which I have already downloaded and opened in Adobe Acrobat Reader. So this is our loop schedule form. I've already got the year typed in at the top. I'm not going to switch from term to term. We're going to do the same thing all year. This is going to be super easy morning time planning for me. Okay, so daily we do a lot of the same things. We are going to pray daily, so we're going to do prayer daily. We are also daily going to do memory work. We do IEW's linguistic development through poetry memorization, which I'll show you a little bit later in this video. We are also going to be doing friendly defenders. This is an apologetics thing that we do. It has some memory as well. So we're going to do that one every single day. And then the only other thing that we're going to do, well, two more things. We're going to do our sentence a day, and then our read aloud. And then, I'm going to put Mad Libs on here because I have children who love Mad Libs, so might as well put it on. So those are our daily subjects for morning time. So now down here in our loop subjects, we're going to be doing just a few little things. First of all, we're going to be doing the story of the Bible. This is a Catholic Bible study for children. I'm putting this in morning time. This is actually going to be a hybrid subject that we're doing because we're going to listen to the audio and watch the DVD lectures in morning time. And then the kids are going to do the other activities on their own outside of morning time. And so it's going to kind of be a hybrid. Some days they'll be doing this on their own. Some days we'll be doing it in our morning time loop. The other thing that we're going to do in morning time this year is we're going to do a nature study, hacking nature study by Joy Cherrick. Now these are fairly new on the market, but this it's Charlotte Mason based. It's really easy way to do nature journaling in such a way that it gives you something to put in your nature journal. So there are like 30 lessons in here. I think she meant for it to be done over the course of a month, maybe a little bit longer. Oh, nope, I lied. There are 24 lessons in here. We're just going to stretch it out and take as long to do it as we take to do it. So I am using that. I am the master of my curriculum. It is not my master. And I know that Joy would be just fine with me doing it that way. We are still working through a book of Tennyson poems. And so I'm going to put poetry on here. And every few days we'll read a poem. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to do Squilt Goes to the Movies. We are members of Squilt Live. We don't get to go to the live lessons as often as we would like to because of our schedule. So part of being a member of Squilt Live is we get this special volume of Squilt called Squilt Goes to the Movies. And I felt like my kids would really, really enjoy that. So we're going to put that in our loop subject this year. And then the last thing I'm going to put in there, these are some lesson plan lists from our morning time subscription on the website. And in looking at these, I decided my kids would probably really like the watercolors. And so we're going to start with the simple watercolors. And if we finish those, we'll move on to the intermediate watercolors. And so I went ahead and downloaded these simple watercolor lesson plans from the site. And we're going to start with these. And then there are some related picture books. Now, my kids are getting a little old for picture books, but I'll have a look at these on Amazon and see if any of them look like something that my kids would enjoy. This one right here looks like this might be something the kids would like. I'm not sure about all of the rest of these, and if I think my kids would enjoy them, I'll see if I can get them from the library. Or if I really think we would enjoy one, I may pick it up used or new on Amazon. So, but we are going to do these watercolor lessons. And then if we finish those, there's also an intermediate set of watercolor lessons as well, if we're really enjoying them. So I'm going to go back out here and I am going to put our watercolors. Okay, so this is it. This is all that is going to be in my morning time plan this year. Now, I've still got to make a read aloud list. I have a number of different books I've kind of got my eye on. One of those are going to be Going Around the World in Geography this year. And so this book will actually give us a number of different folk tales from different countries that we can read. So I think that's going to be one of our main reads. Another resource I have is Give Your Child the World by Jamie Martin. And here's this one. I might use this one to come up with a couple of things. I've already found A Long Walk to Water in here and maybe one or two other books that I would really want to read with my older kids. The nice thing about this book is it's broken down into different age groups. So there are books for ages 10 to 12 in here. I have one who's older than 12, but I'm sure she would probably still really enjoy those 10 to 12 books. And so we may be using this one to pull a couple from as well. And so I'm just going to have one read aloud going at a time. And if it doesn't exactly match up to other stuff that we're doing, that's totally okay. But we're just going to read some of those around the world books and some other things that we enjoy. And if we find a book that we like, we're just going to pick it up and put it in there and read it because we like it. I think that's really important sometimes to do those kinds of things. So I'm going to leave this open. I kind of know what I'm doing and where I'm going, but I'm also going to leave it open for us to follow rabbit trails in our reading as well. So that is how I'm planning my morning time this year. Really, really pretty easy. Okay, so now that we have our plan made, let's take a look at some of the resources that we're going to be using in our morning basket this year. So those daily resources that I was talking about, one of the things that we are doing is called linguistic development through poetry memorization. Now, this is from IEW, and I have the old version. They've since had a new version of this come out, and you can see that a long time ago, I cut the binding off of my copy of the book. And this is because I take these poems out and put them in my morning time binder and slide them into page protectors. I noticed very early on that these needed to be in page protectors. So I'll show you what they look like in my morning time binder a little bit later. Another thing that we do daily is called Friendly Defenders. Now, this is a Catholic apologetics program, and we do this one every day. There are some things for us to memorize in here as well. And along with that, of course, we pray. Now, one of my kids' very favorite things in the world is Mad Libs. And so we always have some Mad Libs going in our morning basket. We've had dog Mad Libs, we've had Shakespeare Mad Libs, and then we also do some seasonal Mad Libs at different times of year as well. So those are our daily subjects other than the books that we're reading aloud in our morning time. And then once again, this is the folk tales and fairy tales that I was talking about earlier as the around the world ones for the geography that we're going to be doing this year. Other things in our loop schedule, poetry. This is Enjoy the Poems from Simply Charlotte Mason, the Tennyson poems. And so this allows us to read a bunch of poems by one poet and really get a feel for their voice. And the Nature Study Hacking by Joy Cherrick. These were the easy nature study lessons that I was telling you about that really give you an idea of what to draw in your journal each time you sit down to do nature study. And then finally, our sentence a day is Practice Island. It's the Michael Clay Thompson Language Arts. And we do this on a whiteboard and we do this orally together. So those are the subjects that are in our morning basket, other than the Squilt Goes to the Movies that I talked about earlier, and also the watercolor lessons. Okay, so the next thing I promised you was a peek inside my morning time binder, and I hope you're not too disappointed. This is a very functional book, and I use it, but I don't make it pretty. So just to warn you about that and let you know. So I've had this notebook for a number of years, and this is the one I use for my binder. And at the very beginning, I have my loop schedule, which you watched me make earlier in the video. So there is the loop schedule with all of our different subjects. Any procedure lists that we need are also kept in the binder. So these are procedures for morning time. My regular homeschool procedures are kept in my teacher planner. And I keep my morning time binder separate because I just like to streamline it and keep only the things I need for morning time in here. I will tell you that we teach how to do procedure lists in the Put Your Homeschool Year on Autopilot course and in Plan Your Year. So I mentioned earlier we were doing Squilt Goes to the Movies. Now I've already bookmarked the resource page that goes with this volume of Squilt, so I can easily access those things on my iPad or on my computer if I need to. But I also printed out a copy of the curriculum, and I'm keeping it in here so that I just like to be able to flip through it and read the little pieces. So as I'm talking about rhythm and tempo or dynamics to the kids, I'll just have this open in front of me and be reading through it. And we'll be getting the links to the music on the iPad. So I have that there. I also have in here, just for resource sake, a copy of the watercolor lesson plan list that we're going to be doing from the Morning Time subscription. Now, once again, I have bookmarked this on the computer, so when it comes time to pull up these links, I will just pull them up on the internet using the iPad or the computer so that we can follow along, we can paint along, but I like to keep a printed copy in here as well. So the next section of this binder is our memory work. And in the past, as you can see, I've had all of these different tabs here. Things for Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, review, new, things like that. And so in the past, we have reviewed memory work. And that was how I kept track of that review. Last year, we decided we were going back to a program called Linguistic Development through Poetry Memorization with IEW. And the way they do structure the review in IEW is a little bit different than how I was doing the review in this binder. And we have moved back to their method, which is based on the Suzuki method of music learning, where basically you practice every piece every day. And so right now, that is what we are doing. We are practicing every piece of memory work under the daily tab every day. And so there's nothing under these other tabs. Because we decided to go back to the linguistic development through poetry memorization, I decided to pretty much do the program as written. And so we review every piece every day. And believe it or not, you're going to see we have a number of pieces in here, but it still doesn't take us that long to do it. Now, we only got as far last year as number 8 on this list. And it's okay because you're going to see we've added other pieces in there as well. So I'm completely fine with only having gotten as far as number 8. Now, my big kids did learn more of these in the past, but I decided to start back at the very beginning since my youngest one had not learned all of them. So it's constant learning, and we're not in a race to get it done. You can also see that this was the program that I cut the binding off of, and I did that so I could put that in these page protectors. So there's the beginning with the list of what we're going to be learning. And then you can see here are the first few poems on the list. And so we just work on one of these poems every day, or excuse me, we work on one of these poems until we have it memorized, and then we do the whole body of what we've memorized every day that we sit down to do memory work. So here's the first 4 poems in this program, and then you can see here's a little bit of Shakespeare from simplyconvivial.com. This was a piece of Shakespeare that we added in and memorized last year. So we did this piece and this piece as well. And then we also did this piece, and this printable comes from the website How to Teach Your Children Shakespeare. So those are all from The Tempest, which was the Shakespeare play that we studied last year. I have also added Nothing Gold Can Stay. This was actually from the November Morning Time Bites, which are available in our Morning Time subscription. So sometimes I'll come across a piece of memory work in there that I really want my kids to learn, and I just print it and add it into the binder. So you can see how that works. And then now we go back to linguistic development through poetry memorization. And we memorized all the way up to we were just starting after the party at the end of the year. So we memorized all of these things last year. And so at the very end of the year, when we were sitting down to work on memory work, we would recite everything here up to this part. And then we were in the process of learning this when we stopped at the end of the school year. So we will pick up here at the beginning of this school year and continue to add linguistic development through poetry memorization pages and any other thing that I find that I just simply want to add to what we're doing. We will continue to do every poem every day until we reach a point where I feel like it has become hard on us, that it's just not feasible for us to recite every poem every day. And I have a feeling that point will come when we get about 20 minutes maybe that we're reciting. And when that happens, then I will just start using these tabs again. And what I will do when the time comes is when I've decided we have too many poems to memorize, I will take out this page right here and I will move it under the Monday tab. And then we will only review these poems on this page on Monday. And then if it's still too long, I'll take this selection from Shakespeare, this one right here, and I'll put it under the Wednesday tab, and we'll only do this one on Wednesday, and so on and so forth. So this one will be the next one to go, and it'll go under Thursday. And as we add more to the back, this passage will be the next one to go, and it'll go under Friday. And then when we are too long once again, this passage will go under Monday. So we're going to keep that memory work going at about 20 minutes or less each time we sit down to do memory work. And I'll do that by adding these pieces back under these daily tabs. So the amount we're doing daily gets smaller, and the amount that we're doing one day a week grows under these tabs, but it's spread out more. So that's going to allow us to spread the time out more. And I hope that makes sense as to how you can work in review for your memory work without it taking way too much time. And that's it. That is my entire morning time binder. That's all there is to it. Pretty simple. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. Well, thanks so much for joining me today for this look at my morning time plan for 2019-2020. If you would like more videos like these, be sure to hit the subscribe button or the little bell to get notified every time we go live.